Hi, my name is Maya, and this is My Imagination. I created a meditation video based off of my song called Mirror. I wanted to talk about one theme today, self-acceptance and redefining flaws, which is based off the affirmation in the video, every strength and imperfection is a part of my unique story. I feel like we treat flaws as if they are things that hold us back from being the best version of ourselves. When in reality, I think a healthy view of our flaws is what empowers us to be our best selves, because a lot of us are enticed with this belief that if we present ourselves as being perfect, then that means that we have achieved a level of wholeness, and I wouldn't say superiority, although that is the vibe that it does give off. Like we've arrived, essentially. I don't think that perfection is the goal. I think maturity is a much better life pursuit. Flaws are a key feature in what it means to be human. If we don't accept our flaws, then we have a very skewed perspective on who we are. I feel like embracing my flaws helps me to move forward, to recover quickly. I used to get so hung up on speaking. If I didn't have the right words all the time, if I didn't have the wittiest thing to say, if my voice creaked or cracked, if I noticed that I had a pimple on my nose, or my hair is starting to kind of frizz because I'm overheated, I would get so frustrated, and I felt chained to this unspoken expectation to make everything perfect all of the time. I would feel this internal battle. I would say I'm not good enough if the quality's not here, But at least where I am at this part of my life, or this part of my journey, grow and learn as you go. Sometimes we can improve on our flaws. Sometimes they just don't go away, and you gotta learn how to adapt and get creative. As you can see, I have micro curls and mini waves. I've never relaxed my hair growing up as a kid. I always wanted to have a different texture, mostly straight. I was going to these great lengths and damaging my hair in order to achieve a look. And every time I would straighten my hair, whether it was, back in the day with a hot comb on the stove, or now with a flat iron, I would do it so often and on such high heat that it would permanently damage the hair cuticle so it wouldn't recoil to its original texture. I just thought that was life. That was a part of being adult. Call it a rite of passage, because although the women around me were so encouraging of me having my natural hair, I noticed that at least for all of the adults, they all had mostly relaxed hair, or they would use, sew-ins, and then later on wigs, lace fronts, ponytails, etc. I can use hair as an example for the deeper layers that relate to my inner being. If I'm so willing to force myself into a beauty standard that doesn't naturally support me, then what am I doing with the person on the inside? You know what I mean? I told myself that if I was born with this hair, then there must be either some hidden superpower, or if it was a quote-unquote flaw, then I was going to wear it with dignity and humility. I know that humility right now isn't a word that people champion, because it really does mean to think of yourself of a lower estate. But at the very least, my understanding of that means humility really does empower us to see people clearly and to serve them well. I'm not trying to puff myself up like a hot air balloon. There's a need to treat ourselves with respect, and then from that foundation, we're empowered to connect with other people. If you have made it this far, I just want to say thank you for listening. Please like this video, share it with a friend who needs to know that your flaws are not the sum total of who you are. However, they can be a great tool that you can use to create the best possible life. I'm planning on making more videos like this, and let me know in the comments, what do you think about changing your perspective and the way that you think about your flaws, and how that could better your journey of self-love, self-acceptance, even relating to others. I genuinely hope that the rest of your day is filled with peace and gratitude. Wait, what is the thing that I say? Because I really do believe in that. Okay, yes, clarity. Girl,